welcome to this week's episode of Dear Mama, You Got This. It's your mom, your co-host, I don't know, your girl, Denise. And we're here for another powerful episode. Now listen, I'm a mom. So my secret co-host, my son, may pop in and out. It's okay. Right now he's snoring though, so he's not gonna pop in right now. Do me a favor, find your favorite chair, your corner, and take the next 30 to 40 minutes and make it all about you. Find your favorite corner and your favorite drink. Now listen, whatever that may be, because we listen and we don't judge. And then let's feed into you as we talk about empty nesters this week. Ooh. It's that part of motherhood that nobody really wants to talk about, but it's vital to the success of you being a mom. So make sure you subscribe to this page and turn on your notifications. Why? So you will know every time that we have a new episode coming out, which is every Wednesday, by the way. Follow social media. We're on Facebook and we're also on Instagram. We're going to be on TikTok soon, and we're also on Threads. Now, I want to mention I have a guest host, a guest speaker. I'm sure y'all can see the flyer on the screen. In case you didn't know, her name is Miracle. So let's all take a moment and say, welcome, Miracle. Welcome, Miracle. So by now, you should know how we do. I'll read her bio because she has a lot of things and a huge wealth of knowledge to bring. And then we're going to get right into it. We ready to go? Let's get it. All right. So let's start with her bio. I'm pulling up now. Forgive me because I had to reboot my computer so the bio's closed. Hold momentarily, but while we're doing that, let's let her talk a little bit and introduce herself her way.
Hello out there. Is that going to pick up? Hello out there. Hello. I'm so excited and happy to be here and be a part of this week's podcast. Thank you for the invite. I am a mom. I am a mom of a beautiful 21-year-old, and I'm excited to bring what I've learned over the years and what I have come accustomed to. Being an empty nester now. And so I'm really excited just to be here. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. And for those who may not know, this beautiful girl is actually my sister. She's the one who made me an auntie. So her daughter is my almost child, right? So let me go ahead and get ready and read her bio. So her bio reads as this. Betty Miracle Perry is a native Washingtonian who loves her city and will forever call it home. Now resides in Exeter, Pennsylvania with her beautiful daughter when she is home from TSU, also known as Tennessee State University. She is a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and one who loves people. Miracle can be seen leading a helping hand wherever is needed. Miracle walks boldly in the gifting of healer and prayer warrior. She is an effective communicator of God's word and stands on his word not only for her life, but for the lives of others as she intercedes. She desires to help people apply the timeless truth of scripture to their life and empowering women every day. Her services to God's people are the best gifts she could ever give back to God. She's an active member of the Lambda Omicron Chi Christian Sorority Incorporated, devoted to rest and relaxation with a little hard work. Miracle owns and operates Prairie Girl Travel Agency and Just Like Mom Southern Style Catering Company. And listen to me. Commercial break. The cooking is phenomenal. Okay, it's phenomenal. She's active and on the move, and she believes that all things are possible with the love of Jesus Christ. Her favorite scripture is Ephesians 3:16-17. I pray that out of his glorious riches, he may strengthen you with power through his spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you being rooted and established in love. Amen. So again, help me to welcome today's guest speaker, to the lady of the hour, Miss Betty, aka Miracle. And we'll be calling her Miracle for the duration of this term. So I am nowhere near being an empty nester. Nowhere near it. My son just turned 11 months last week. So I have a long time. However, there are moms who are either close to, like maybe their child's a senior in high school or junior at that part. Can you give me a little bit of what your journey was like dealing with that?
Yes. So I am what some people will call a true single mom, right? So you have a single mom who co-parent. right? And so, although the child lives with one parent, the other parent is very actively and involved in the child's life. So, but I'm on the opposite side where it was just me, right? Raised, brought up, however you want to put it, it was just me. And so when you are that way, you tend to, that child becomes your life or the children become your life. And so you live, eat, breathe motherhood. Live, eat, breathe being a parent, right? And so I'm no exception to the rule, how I became a rule, but my daughter became my life. If I did it, I had the thoughts of her in my mind. If we shifted, I had the thoughts of her in my mind. Once I became rooted and grounded in God and began to listen to his voice, it became his voice. And then, I'll pick her up where she belonged. And as long as I follow Christ, we'll be all right. Right. And so I took her on that journey with me as a parent. That, I will say, set the foundation for us, but I was still there for her day in, day out. And I think that when we shifted in mood, it became even more intense because it was just her and I at that point. And she became more of my world. Because when I moved away, I no longer had that support system immediately around me. So it became me being the runner, me being the stay at home. When she's sick, it was me. It was me. Then it was me. And then it was me. And so I had no safety net. Whereas I could be like, yeah, you could pick her up from school. I got to go do this. Or you can do that. It became on me. And so I gravitated to that and I began to function out of she's it for me. So for 18 years, we functioned like that.
What limitations would you say, or hindrance would you say, and I get it, it was just you two, and it became like you two, like you all became like your own support system, your own. It kind of like came like you two against the world in a sense. Were there any limitation that you saw within yourself, that you saw within her, or within the relationship, that when it was time for her to leave and to spread her wings, you found to be hard?
So I would say our biggest limitation was the separating piece, right? Because we had gotten so used to it being us. And that was our thing, us against the world. Something, bad happened or what we consider deemed to be bad. I was like, or she was like, it's okay, mom. It's me and you against the world. And I was like, well, it's okay, Death. It's me and you against the world. And so we began to have a bond that said, it's me and you. It's me and you. It's me and you. Not so much in the sense of blocking out other individuals as a part of our lives, but knowing that I got you and you got me and we got each other's back through thick and through thin. Two peas in one pod. We're going to ride this thing called life out together. And whereas that became our motto, I had to deal with things when we moved away from family, it also became a hindrance when it was time for her to leave for school. Um, because she got into 33 universities and colleges all around, from California to right at home in North Carolina. No, from being 30 minutes away to being, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 hours away, where I could even drive or I could catch a plane. So, and I said to her, the sky's the limit, go where you want to go. But in my mind, I was like, pick Catawba College right there in Salem, and so whereas I wanted her to be close to home, I wanted her to be able to blossom and grow her own wings. And so it becomes a hindrance in a sort of speak of, you want to see them go out there and grow and you want to, but you also want to protect them. The closer home you are, it could still be me and you against the world. When you're far away, to me and you and the plane ticket away. Or me and you in a 7 hour car, and she picked a school that was 7 hours from home. At that time, we were still living in North Carolina, so she was seven hours from home. But we did preparation work. Once we found that out, I mean, it was really like up until we left, I was not 100% sure, and I'll be honest, that she was gonna go away to college. Yes, this was a school that she picked. Yes, Tennessee State was it, everything. But it wasn't until we packed that U-Haul to take her to school that I know that she was going off to school. Because where she would say, like, these was her biggest fears, I knew that her biggest fear was separation. And I was like, that can't hinder. I can't hold you back, and you can't hold yourself back from experiencing what you want out of college because we're so attached to each other. So we did counseling.
That for me is major because far too often you'll see a kid choose a school closer to home for that very reason. So what was it in you that allowed you to know within you that you needed to like she needed to do this and you needed to allow her? What was that? Was it a feeling? Was it a prayer? Like what was it inside of you that one told you we both need this, and two, what was that gave you the she's gonna be okay, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna be okay.
I think I realized it when I cried after she picked her school. It wasn't that I'm so proud she picked the school type moment. It was, oh my gosh, she's moving from home moment, right? And so it was there that I realized that I too had separation anxiety because from 8 years old when we moved to North Carolina to 18 when she graduated high school, it had literally been us two. And although she used to be like, we're best friends, and I'd be like, I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother.
That seems really harsh.
We did develop within our motherhood a friendship in there. And I knew then that in order for us to separate, we was going to need some help. So I reached out and we got a counselor, and it was really good. We did sessions together. We did sessions apart. She had her moment, I had my moment, but it really, really helped us to begin. And I think our biggest thing was the counselor said, I need you guys to begin to do things separately. And I was like, oh, okay, I could do things separately. And she was like, go to dinner by yourself. And I was like, wait a minute, I got a whole kid. And when I come from dinner, I'm going to have to. She was like, no, if this is your time to go out to eat, she's old enough. She needs to get her something to eat. And I was like, oh, all right. And that became hard. It became a task. It became difficult for me to allow myself to be a mom and to be able to separate that. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that. And I didn't know how to navigate my feelings in that. Was I letting her down because I went to dinner by myself? Or was I not being a mom because I didn't even prepare her dinner and then go out to eat by myself? Like I took that off the plate altogether. And then another one was like when she got her job, she was like, don't wait up for her at night. No, I'm not that mom, okay? I need to be able to see my kid come home. And so she was like, don't wait up for her, because there's going to be time when she goes off to college where you know that she's out with her friends and everything. And you cannot be like at home 7 hours away talking about something. I'm gonna wait up till she gets home. She a whole other time zone. I can't do that. I have to be okay with it. And so although I didn't do it the way she told me to do it, because she was like, don't wait up. I was like, oh, okay. She said, hey, I'm on my way home because she was younger than the curfew limit. So I was like, okay. And so I waited. I knew that she worked about 20 minutes from home. So at about, 18 minutes, I went to the window upstairs and I was peeking the one that shows the parking lot. I saw her come in. I saw her park the car. I went to my room, turned TV on like I wasn't waiting for her. And I was like, oh, hey, you're home. How was your first day at work? And so don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. Okay. So I had to, it takes a moment to get to the point where you're like, okay, I won't do it. Maybe by like week 3 of her working, I didn't wait at the window no more. Was I still up? Some days I was, but it came to a point where I was asleep when she came in the house. It came to a point where I did have to ask her how was work the next morning because I was asleep. It was times when she would come in, put the covers on me because I was already asleep, and then she would go to her room. So it became easier, but I had to start.
I think that's good. Like I said, I'm nowhere near there, but I'm not looking for it either. I mean, my coworkers are already clowning me because, he's my baby and he's going to be my one and only. Like, like your daughter is your one and only. And I think about moms who made and we all know them, right? We all have some of them, but moms who made their children their entire world. And then those children left home and the parent was lost. Like the parent had absolutely like no like clue as to, do I like eggs? Do I like fried chicken? Do I even like this show? Or do I like this? Because you spent your entire life Because motherhood is one of those things where you give it all you got plus some extra. You literally give it 120, especially when it's only one, because you don't have to split yourself between anybody. It's just that one child, and so you spend a lifetime pouring in and making sure the kid is okay. That you lose you. When it was time for your daughter to go away to school, had you realized that you had lost you? And if you did, what did you do to find you again?
So I actually did it prior to her leaving. And there was another thing that we discussed, and it was find who I am. I didn't cook. I didn't cook. I know I have a catering company, but I didn't cook prior to having my daughter. I was a oodle noodles and hot dog eating somebody. You hear me what I'm saying? Hot dogs and oodles and noodles. It was my jam. Right along peanut butter and jelly. No jam. And so when I was pregnant, my mom said, your daughter's going to starve if you don't learn how to cook. She cannot live and survive off oodles and noodles and hot dogs and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I was like, okay. So I got in the kitchen and I started learning how to cook from my mom. And so that turned into me cooking for my child. Cooking became a routine. Cooking became 4 a.m. in the morning so that dinner is ready when we get home from work at 5 o'clock. And while she's doing her homework, it's in the oven warming up. And boom, we're eating, bath. We had time together. She's in the bed. So that became a routine of my day. 4 a.m., gotta cook dinner. 4 a.m., gotta cook dinner. So did I like cooking because I like cooking? No, I like cooking because I was a parent. Did I like going bowling because I like going bowling and I'm really good at it? Or did I go bowling because it was something that we did on Saturday nights? Is it like, who was I? Who am I? What made me get out of bed in the morning other than being a mom? And that was hard. That was hard because I had lost who Betty was. I had lost who I was being a mom for 18 years. And so I started from scratch. I started from the bottom and it was, let's not cook. Okay, let's not go bowling. And I stopped it and then I went bowling. Now, do I like going bowling because I like bowling? And what I realized in the midst that I don't like going to the movies. Okay, so now I do love bowling. Okay, I love going bowling, but I didn't like going to movies. I went to movies because that was something that we shared. So very rarely do I go to the movies. It has to be something that like a trailer comes out and it catches my attention like, oh my God, I gotta see that movie. If it's not like that, I'm gonna catch you when it comes on TV. Um, so I realized that there was just certain things that I did. I did it because I was a parent. And so now I can say, cool, very rarely you're gonna see me go eat Outback. I ate Outback because it's my daughter's favorite restaurant. So, but on the other hand, excuse me, I had to learn those things. And you say it's real like small or that you don't know things about yourself, but you truly can lose yourself in becoming a parent. And I did that. And I did that. And so now that I'm an empty nester, I can very well see how introvert I am, how I don't need to be out in the crowds. And it ain't because I'm old, it's because I just don't like to be out there in the crowds. And so, but I learned that about myself. I learned that I really enjoy sleeping. I learned that I really still don't like books. I mean, I've learned that a million and one things about myself, but now I can say I know who I am. I know how God has changed my name from Betty to Miracle. I know how God has wired me to be me outside of being a parent. He did one great, fantastic job in making me a parent. And I will forever put every post that I put every birthday, I thank God for allowing me the assignment. My assignment was to be her parent. My assignment was to draw her back to God. My assignment was to show her the connected ways and the path in which leads to God. That was my assignment, to instill the principles and the truths in her, to create her foundation. My assignment as a parent was to grow her in the ways that she will know how to, when to, who did it, whatever. Those were my assignments. And when my assignment was done, it needed to be done. I needed to be able to release her unto God, and that was it. And so I had to learn that. But when I did that, nobody said there's no manual to say, here's where you pick back up your life at. There's no manual to say, you weren't supposed to drop your book. You're supposed to continue to write alongside of writing hers. Like, nobody says that. And so we put down our books, and now you want to take me back to chapter 4. Well, no, 18 years, I should be right there at chapter 20, right where my life is. So how do I go back and not start at chapter 4, but make sure I'm starting back at chapter 20?
That's good. I mean, it's good for so many different reasons, but I feel like, and even with myself, I see that, like, in the different parts I mentioned, makeup. One of the things that I did very successfully, I might add, was be a makeup artist. So I'm good at makeup. But when I had my son, I was home for 5 months with him, and then when I went back to work, I was like, I'm trying to get to work on time. You want makeup? Like, it was like I don't have time for that. But I realized, I think last week, about a month or so ago now, that I had actually, like, I had stopped wearing makeup. Like, I didn't wear it at all. And although I don't do my full, 5 or 6 colors on my eyes anymore, hey, well, I don't do that anymore, but I felt like I missed that part of me. Like, I missed the part of me that, God did her eyebrows and wore lashes and put her face on. And so I had to create, even now with him just being, because I said to myself, at some point, as much as I love my son, I'm going to raise him to be able to stand on his own 2 feet at some point. And so I don't want to look up and 20 years from now, I not know who the person looking back at me is. I not know, kind of what you did, like what she likes and what. So I want to have balance. So I carve out that 15 minutes a day. To mind, I do it at work. I don't do it at home, where I get to see who I am. Let me ask this question. What was the transition of like for her when it came time to I guess she's not considered the empty nester, but when you took her to school and you dropped her off and you both realized that you guys were going to be in different states, what was that like for you and for her?
Boy, she was fine. She was fine. Okay, so I was the one that was like, she's gonna call me. I'm gonna have to go back and pick her up. I'm going to, I was like, I was the one that needed to readjust. And I think because she did her own counseling pieces, and then she connected with her roommate in February, so she had that bond, and they were able to pick up, and like they had always been friends, and but it was me, like, we waited for the phone call that she was homesick and ready to come home, and it never came. I think I went to visit in September, and she was fine. She was fine, and I believe we had a conversation about it. I was like, I thought you was gonna really come home, and she was like, I think the counseling sessions, like, it really prepared me, because like I said before, up until she left, I was like, is she going? Is she not going? Is she going? Is she not going? Is she going? Is she not going? But then she showed me that she could make it. Then it was, oh, I'm staying out there. I absolutely love Nashville. And I was like, say, what's that? Huh? You gonna say? Oh, okay, me too. So it became seemed to be like it was easy for her. Now she did have moments sophomore and then this junior year where she was like, I need a break, I need to come home. But it was like, okay, I'm done. My week is good. I'm gone. I'm going back. I'm on flight. But it seemed to be easier for her to go than it was for me to go.
Poor mommy. Poor mommy. What would your advice be for the mom that's watching and her son or her daughter, niece, or whoever it may be, is preparing to go to school in August? What would your advice be for transitioning? Like, do you feel like your role as a mom changed or evolved when you became an empty nester? And if so, in what ways?
It changed in a sense of it wasn't my 24-hour job. Like, I didn't monitor being a mom every single second of the day. I don't have to readjust my schedule or do things according and lined up to whatever she got going on, right? So in that sense, yes, being a mom changed. I feel like I'm still involved to a certain aspect, and I know that like a lot of my friends used to be like, I can't believe you said that, but I was waiting for her to go to college, right? I said, oh, I can't wait for her to go, I can't wait for her to go. And it wasn't that I was ready to be an empty nester. I was ready to see her become everything that I had installed in her, because I believe in a sense of once the child is of a certain age, right? I'm no longer necessarily the guardian. And let me explain about that. And so when you think of a guardian, the first word is guard. So I'm guarding her for everything, right? I'm supposed to be the protector. I'm the gate between society and the bad things of life. I'm the gate between the people that can means you no harm. I'm that gate. So after a certain point, that guard per se has to be released, and you have got to walk through the doors, right? Now you become what gets hit first. And I'm the person that protects you on the sides. I'm the person that be like, dust yourself off. I'm the person that be like, and that's what I was waiting for her to go to college. I had installed all I could for her. I have created a beautiful foundation for her to be able to stand on. Now I'm the one on the sideline going, I'm pushing you, I'm pushing you, I'm pushing you, but I'm pushing you a little different. I'm pushing you as you know what you got. You, it's inside of you. It's inside. I'm encouraging more than I am developing. And I was ready to see her blossom into what had been installed in her. I'm ready for her to be, I want to see that doctor. I want to see that grown woman. I want to see everything that comes with it. So my intake on it now is that, so now she could say we're friends, right? When she on graduation day, I said, now I could be your friend. Cause I don't have that. And we hugged and cried about it because she wanted me to be her friend. And I was like, I can't. I have to be your parent. And so now I'm like, I'm still your mom. She still respects me that way. She still calls me that. You know, we still have that level of a parenting relationship. But now I'm more so as the encourager. I'm not so much the ground maker, so much the disciplinary one, but I'm still there in the capacity of I'm gonna still hold your hand as long as you allow me to hold your hand. Before, like now at your son's ages, hold my hand and come across the street, right? Now where we are, I'm like, I'm here to hold your hand if you want me to. And I can't always hold it, but I can do what I can do in the presence, you know? And so that's where I am. So am I involved? I'm involved, but it's not as it was before. And the advice that I would give, right? So what I would say to the parent that whose kid is not there yet, right? Whose kid is not the junior, senior in high school, is don't lose yourself now in the process of raising the child. Don't get so far gone from you that you don't even know what you look like in the mirror. So like for you when you made the comment of wear the makeup and you a month ago you just went back to put on the makeup, I say continue the makeup. Continue to being you who you are. Me getting up at 4 a.m. really could have been an opportunity because when I got up at 4 a.m., I still didn't get her up to 6, 7 o'clock. So I really could have then had that moment to myself. I really could have developed and kept going with who I was as as a person in that in those moments, in them times, right? But I didn't. And so I would say find opportunities and ways of still becoming who you are. If you have that support system, drop that kid off somewhere and still do you and still do life. And if you're there, if you're a junior, senior, and you're ready to be an empty nester and you are crunching and clenching and like I was, you find who you are. Take the opportunity. Write, journal. I am big on journaling. It has helped me through a lot. But write down the things that you used to do that you loved about yourself, and refine who you are, and in society, refine who you are. Because when your kid gets out there, it doesn't mean that your life is over. It just means that you have more time to do you and be you. And so, so if you're there, we opted for therapy. And that helped. It gave us another ear that was right there, that avenue, and another ear and another voice that could help us and grow us and develop us. So if therapy is your thing, then do the therapy. But take the time to do the whole I'm gonna separate, you're gonna separate, we're gonna be okay. And show them now, and I promise graduation drop off will be a little bit easier.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got time. I cannot see me leaving my baby right now. But again, he's only 11 months. And did you see the face he gave you when you called his nickname in public? You's in trouble. You in trouble. You in trouble. But I want to thank I want to thank my guest Miracle for coming on and being a part of this podcast. Get used to her face. You will definitely see her again more than one time. But I thank you for sharing your level of expertise with us because you lived it, right? Like you're there. I'm trying to get there. I tell people all the time, she's the expert in this. Like normally she comes to me, but in this area, I'm like, why I do this and what I do this and what does this mean? Because she done it, and I used to always tell her, you make single mom look easy. Like you make single parenting look easy. I know it's not, but you do such a good job at it that you made it look easy. That's gonna be on a different podcast. It's coming up though. And so, for those that are watching, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Please, please do me a favor and subscribe, follow, like us, all of the above. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads. And I want to remind you, in case nobody told you today, You are rocking this thing called motherhood. You are doing whether you're doing it by yourself, whether you have a spouse, whether you have a partner, or you're doing it with your parents, whatever your village tribe looks like, sister, you are killing it. Nobody can do motherhood like you do motherhood. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Don't do it anybody else's way. You do what's best for you and your child. Congrats to you. God thought that you deserve the title of mother, and not everybody gets that title. Excuse me. We salute you and we tell you job well done. Until next week, we'll see you all saying thank you for watching. Have a good day.